So, last week we worked on transitioning from the mount to the back. This week we're going to work the backpack drill and start some of the basic back attacks. Alright? So we're here. I have both my hooks in and I have my seatbelt grip. A couple details we're going to go over. One, you never cross your feet. Alright? If you cross your feet here, you're just asking for double walking boots, which are not fashionable or stylish. Alright? Your top hand should go over the shoulder, flat to his chest. This seems like an insignificant detail. It is not. We will explain later why. Your one hand comes underneath the arms, grabs that wrist, attaches it tight. I like to cheat it just a little bit over to that armpit to keep it nice and tight. Now, when we're here, James is going to help me with this drill. He's going to fall opposite the pillow. Here, he's going to walk his hips out, and I don't like that. My foot is going to post. I'm going to walk my hips back. Come up to my knees, walk James forward. As soon as I do that, I lift his elbow, step my foot in, retake the back. We then fall James the other way. He starts to walk. Same thing, we come up and back in. And you do that continuously. Okay? That is the backpack drill. It is by design to teach you that if you keep this backpack grip and don't panic, you can always retake the back. Alright? So, questions on this. It is a simple but not easy drill. Yes,
Are you hooking underneath his legs?
No. We're keeping those hooks nice and tight, but you're not looking to like snake your legs in on this at this point. Other questions? Chat
One more time through.
Boom, he falls off to that side, he starts to, boom. I walk my hips back, come up, and I keep this grip that whole time. Attaching my Superman chest to the back of his shirt here.
Can you show me your foot stomp on that?
Boom, he walks out, I post, almost as if we had a drill where you posted and shrink your hips back. If only we had a drill like that, Dewey. If only. I might be a madman, but there is method occasionally. Alright? Other questions on that?
Can you say what the bottom person has to do?
So, bottom person, all you're looking to do is fall to one side or the other. You want to alternate sides. And walk your hips over his legs. Boom. As soon as you do this, your part's basically done until you fall back over. You're not trying to resist here. You're not trying to stop him from doing this. This is an offensive drill for me. Alright? Raise your hand if you've been here over 6 months. Great. If your hand is raised, grab someone whose hand is not raised. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're here. To start this drill, you're going to do that once to each side. So you're going to backpack once to each side. Once you get through that initial backpack, you're going to end up here, right? So you've retaken the back, you're here, and all good things are happening. Now, we're going to just work kind of the basic rear naked choke. We'll add a couple variants to it, but the big thing is working on the details, all right? So when we're here, I'm going to be here, and anyone who doesn't suck at jiu-jitsu, has watched an MMA fight for more than 30 seconds, is going to be like, hey, they're probably going to try to choke me from here, right? It's going to be what everyone thinks. So they're going to do a couple things immediately. Like Dewey's doing, he's going to start tucking his chin and start looking to involve his hands in here. That's great. I really appreciate his help on all this, right? So boom, all we're going to look to do is I want to clear his hands off with the underneath hand. This hand being flat on the chest is key because once I clear this, I'm looking to drag my thumb up his chest and underneath his chin. Scooping. Because if Dewey has his chin tucked without my hand here, if I scoop here, that's going to allow me to pick that chin up. And he has two choices. He can either keep his chin tucked and I can break it for him, or he can pop it up. I don't mind either one. That's his own problem, not mine. So when we're here, I'm putting that down and I'm dragging it up so that I can pop his chin up. So when I'm here, I'm looking to clear those hands off as much as I can in that hand fight, dragging that up and coming here. Now I like to cap that shoulder once I get his chin up, here and here. Now, once we're here, I'm gonna start applying light pressure as soon as we get here. Try to hold yourself up a little bit. So when I'm here, I'm gonna look to start applying light pressure. I'm not trying to squeeze him out right here like you can, but they gotta kind of suck or be really tired. But I'm starting to just apply that light pressure here. Puts his brain in a totally different mode. When you start depriving it from oxygen and blood, bad things start to race through people's mind. Right, Chad?
Yes, sir.
So when I get here and I start just applying that little bit of pressure, he starts to become a lot less concerned with my hands and a lot more concerned with not being choked out. Once we're here, he's probably going to get to a death grip version of, I need this hand to stop him from continuing to choke me, which is fine. All we're going to do here is I like to fall onto the pillow of death. So my arm that is over the top, we're going to fall to that side. Once we get here, I'm going to reach for my gun. I've yet to find a better analogy for the hand motion and how that should look. You just reach for your gun. As soon as you do that, you sneak that arm up, and I'm trying to grab just above my bicep here. As you grab behind the bicep, you're here. My hand comes flat behind his neck, and I'm looking to scrape down my bicep as I pull my elbow back and up. So I'm here, here. Dewey has my hand. I reach for my gun. My hand comes up. I'm here, here, and here. As we're here, I'm looking to cut this hand down while I squeeze this elbow back, pull it up, and I say it with my chest. I take that big deep breath in. So without Dewey, so that he can breathe for 30 seconds. I'm here, here, and here. I'm looking to cut that hand down behind his neck while I pinch up and in as I inflate my chest here. The difference in between hitting this choke and having to squeeze it for 20 seconds and what I do to most of you on a regular basis is details, not magic or strength. If you're having to strength your way through your chokes, just realize you don't have the details right. Even on someone who's tough, if my details are right, it will work. It'll just take an extra couple seconds. So if I'm here with Dewey, boom, this hand comes in. I get that underneath there, here. I squeeze, inflate that chest, and you're there. Like I said, I like to be able to just apply a slow, steady squeeze. Because if I'm here, Dewey eventually runs out of air, and I'm really not straining myself too much. I was hoping you'd go out. It'd be awesome. It's been a while since I put one of you out in class while instructing. Questions on the details? While instructing, I put you out.
So this is hitting blood and air, or just?
Yeah, so anatomy of a choke, for those of you who haven't heard my description of this, you have major blood veins or arteries. I don't know the difference, won't explain it to you. I'm not an anatomy person. There's blood on both sides, air in the middle. A good choke hits 2 of 3, generally air and one side of the blood. This one, you're hoping your bicep on one side is getting blood, the point of your elbow is getting air, wrist on the other side is getting blood, and you're hoping that the backhand is reinforcing all that while the chest drives them into it, is your hope. Your question?
Oh, so talk to him about not like extending the arm out super far to exaggerate that, because the people are going to fight that.
Yeah. Realize that if you bring this hand way out in front, all you've done is give it back to him. So when I say sneak this hand up, I literally mean it should never come past his ear. When you're doing, if your hand goes, just realize I'm gonna have to slap Enoch, and he's very feisty, so he's gonna fight back, and I don't want to shoot back. So when I'm here and I reach for this gun, I sneak that hand up and here. You choke Dewey out. You won't do the right things. All right. Chad,
Are you going to go through all the different versions of that tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna variant this out. We're gonna go. So. We're going to go Captain America here in a minute, and then if we don't like that, then we'll go single arm off. All right?
Sir.
So, backpack it out, each side, then choke. All right? I want you guys to get used to that backpack drill. What was that, guy?
Choke on the second one.
Choke on the second one. So I'm here, he falls to this side, boom. I walk him up, I'm like, hey, yeah, I really like that. Boom, he falls to this side, he doesn't like it. I'm like, hey, this is really inconvenient of you. Bop. Choke on the second one. All right, 1, 2, 3.
I like the way he's dying.
All right, so once you get here, a couple things that I want to point out detail-wise that I don't think we're doing well on right now. This top hand, without Dewey's hands involved. When I'm here, I'm not just reaching for this shoulder casually. I'm looking to drive my elbow to where my elbow is in line with the point of his chin, here. All right, so a lot of you guys are kind of reaching here and you're feeling that that choke's not gonna be as tight as it can be. When I'm here, I'm digging that overhook here, so that way when I'm here, my arm's already deep enough. It just has to come around. A lot of you guys on that backpack are kind of coming shallow arm, or just not, really digging this arm here. That's why I told you guys, I kind of cheated across here, because naturally that, one, keeps my chest tight to his back, but two, it makes this arm be in really good position when I dig it up. Does that make sense? All right, and two, a lot of you guys, when you get here, are not looking to expand your chest. So when I'm here, I literally take like a deep breath, go. And like your Superman ripping off the shirt, right, from the old movies. Same concept. You're here, and you watch Dewey's eyes pop out of his head. It's really cool.
They look like you just went down a roller coaster.
That's the goal, right? Is to get that eye pop. Because the details, guys, is the difference in between getting the type of tap and the I guess you got me tap. I want the panic, I just crushed your soul type of tap. That's what I'm looking for in life. Probably because I'm a bad person, but we all ended up here somehow. So I'm here. Variant number 2. Not much is really going to change. You're going to have that backpack drill, all those same things. You're going to look to hand fight here. Boom. You're still going to sneak this hand up. You're still going to reach for your pistol. But instead of trying to sneak this hand up, because a lot of guys have gotten really good at digging this hand out. They can stay calm enough to where it doesn't matter if this chokes in. They will start digging that out, and then you're just in trouble when you're trying to finish this one-handed. It's not ideal. So when I'm here, instead, I'm going to reach for that gun. Boom. And I'm going to look to just palm-to-palm grip here. I'm looking to reach it to where my top hand is just over the cap of his shoulder. So I'm here, here, and here. My bottom elbow is going to snap in and drive forward. Once you get here, same thing. You drive this elbow forward, deep breath, squeeze. Choke Dewey for sport.
Are you still falling to the...
Always to the pillow of death. So, for your chokes, couple things. Couple reasons why we fall to the pillow of death. One, if I'm here, I can adjust my choke. My lock is in the air, so it's in that open space. So if I need to adjust and go to the first one, if I need to make adjustments and do anything, I actually have the space to do it. Where if I'm here and I go to fall on this, Austin, how easily can I adjust anything? There's this thing called the ground anyway. Really inconvenient when you go to adjust your choke. Two, if you need to transition off, so if I'm here and things start to happen and he starts to escape his hips and I need to transition off, you have a much better option to get a hand out for that transition if your hands are free to the top side as opposed to trapped underneath in that. Now there's going to be times where he falls to that side or forces you that way and you still have to finish the choke. The ideal world we all don't live in though, I fall, he falls to the pillow of death, and I choke him. Nice, do I've got this.
Can you kind of go over the mechanics of just that grip real fast and kind of why that's...
Yeah, so when I'm here, so that you guys can see it a little bit. This hand comes over. My hand, see how it's over the cap of his shoulder? It stays here. So that way I'm pinching this elbow in while I drag this elbow up. So it is pinch, raise, as I try to connect my elbows through his sternum.
It feels like your elbow's on the opposite side of the spine.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, like I'm dragging it here, and I'm trying to drag this elbow here and here as I choke. Does that make sense? So it's pinch, drag.
Since you're no longer leaving that hand back there, is your shoulder replacing the front pressure or the back pressure?
A little bit. So when I'm here, especially when I'm dug deep here, boom, I can use that head as pressure here. But the biggest thing you're looking to do is make sure I like to cover my lock with my head so that he can't hand fight. So what happens to a lot of people is they start to do this, and they'll try to start driving that head, and see how you can still find your hand. Like, it's not completely hidden. It's harder with this, we call it Captain America grip, but if I hide it behind my head, it makes it a lot harder to grab.
Can I see that from this side?
Yeah. So when we're here, if I come here and here, I like to hide my grip. Makes it a lot harder for him to find that hand to hand fight out. So you're.
When you hide the grip on, you still pressure the elbow in the spine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that elbow is constantly driving into that spine. So as soon as I get here and I connect, that elbow's driving.
But if you have it deep enough, would you still one-hand it keep your grip?
Oh yeah. There's always the option for the one-handed. I will just tell you, if they don't suck and aren't exhausted, one-handeds are very hard to hit without a size advantage. I can do it to people I'm bigger than because I'm a bully, not because I should be able to. Like if I'm here with Dewey, I can hand fight here. Right? Like Dewey's just tough enough to make that not viable because we're close to the same size. Where if I grab Devin, I can probably make that work because I'm bigger. Not exactly the style of jiu-jitsu we want to articulate, right? Other questions?
But I wouldn't be like Gordon.
Do more steroids and ruin your gut biome. 1, 2, 3. So I'm here. Good things are happening. I'm attacking a lot of things. But let's say for whatever reason we just cannot get underneath this neck to get that choke. Some people are just stubborn with this, guys. It's just, you're not going to get there, right? Like, it's just not going to be there. So one of the things I really like to do whenever they go to that is to go to a jaw crunch. With one key detail, check your rule sets. Most rule sets do not determine the difference in between a choke and a jaw crank. The only variant they'll give you is if you wrench the neck during it. So if he tucks his chin here, realize guys, all you have to do is still go over the top of it. You have to make sure your elbow is over his jaw here. So if Dewey tucks his chin, boom, we're there. Here, all you're going to do is pinch hard and drop your elbow down. Now, we're not going to practice that because we're all friends here, and this is a great way to make new enemies, right? Just know that that's available. Now, I'm the only pro here, so I will not show the executioner moves. If you play in expert rule sets, realize there is a move. I think you're going to start playing experts, and so you have to be aware of this, that if you get into this hand fight and it's not going your way, some people will just go here. Yep. It's called an executioner. It's a violent fucking move. Be aware of it if you're playing in open rule sets. It's not something I want you all practicing. It's not something I want most of you even doing. Especially not in the practice room. Be aware of it at comps though, you know.
Can I do that on an open mat on a Friday?
No.
You'll make somebody real fucking mad.
Because you'll get the shit rocked out of you by somebody.
Yeah.
So, I'm telling none of you to do that at open mats. I'm telling none of you to do that at other gyms. I'm telling none of you to do that here. And I'm not saying that in my like wink, wink, nod, nod way. I'm telling you right now, do not pull this shit in a gym. Because let's put it this way, if they don't kick the shit out of you when you do it to someone else, I will hear about it because I'm friends with 90% of the jiu-jitsu coaches in this state. For those of you who cross-train, how many of them at least know me or like me at least a little? Most of them have my cell phone number and would call me, and I would kick the shit out of you if you pulled that shit. So, but what we are going to work is going to be an armbar off this back. It's just a real simple transition. So I get here, I'm trying to hand fight, and Dewey's just good at defending himself. So he's going to do kind of that Home Alone defense, right? He's just going to be kind of having his hands tight. He's just going to be up here, keeping his hands involved. So I don't like that. So you're always going to attack the underhook hand. So when you're here, the simplest way I like to do it is to take the opposite foot off and post it towards his hip. Kind of the top of that thigh. As I do that, I'm going to push that off, moving the seat across his chest as a seatbelt. Here. Now, as you get there, all you're going to look to do, connect your wrist to your shoulder, here, going elbow deep on his arm. As you do this, your foot comes over and you're in the arm bar. Now, I did that in like 6 steps. Realize 90% of that happens at the same time. So I'm here, I'm hand fighting, good things are happening, boom, here, bop. You swivel around. Now, once you get here, you break this as you would any other arm bar. You can either go kick out and fight him at the wrist to finish, or for you more advanced guys, you can reach across, pull that elbow in, and then go finish. A couple details on the arm bar I've been seeing a lot of us mess up. One, we do not pull a lever to finish our arm bar. Never have I ever taught you to do this, and I swear I'll kick someone in the face if I see it. You attach this to your chest, fall back, and raise your hips as it extends. Detail 2, you pinch your knees like a good girl at Catholic school. Bop. You laugh, but you will all remember that detail now. And when you're here, you pull towards his pinky. I don't care where his pinky is. If his hand's that way, you pull it that way. If it's this way, you pull it down. If it's this way, you pull it that way. You pull to wherever that pinky is. You follow the pinky pressure. All right? Raise your hips. Evan.
So when you're doing that transition, I guess when does that knee pinch kind of make
As soon as your leg comes over his head. Okay. So boom, I'm here, 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 knee pinch. I'm knee pinching. The second my leg comes over and I hammer that to the floor, I'm in the knee pinch. Other questions? I saw yours first. And your one.
What am I doing wrong when I do that and they turn into
Liberalism mainly, but no. All right. So generally the detail that you're missing if they're turning into you on this. So to clarify, I come here and they start to come this way, or they are turning away from you.
It's when right before you put your leg over, they turn in and face me.
Boom. So equal parts. One, you got to swing that shit. So when I swing this leg over, I'm not kicking him with the back of my thigh. Kind of. Hammer that shit down. You have to be aggressive at times. When I'm hitting that transition, listen, I'm not kicking him, but I'm not kicking him. The back of my thigh is coming at his, neck, face and neck at mock Jesus, and he's gonna sit back. That, and you have to keep an elbow pinch. So when I'm here, if I'm falling off this way, as I come here and he's able to turn in, you're generally not controlling this hand well enough either. So it's one of those two. I would assume it's the mock Jesus. Like, you need to hammer that shit down. All right? Adjust.
Can you show this side of just like the beginning of the transition all the way through?
Facing you. So, boom. I'm here. We're hand fighting. Ba ba ba. Good things are happening. Boom. I'm gonna come. Bop bop.
So you're connecting the corner grip as you come around and not like the head thing.
You want to connect it as early and often as you can. For me, sometimes it's going to connect before and I have to kind of drag that elbow over. Other times you're going to do it in transition. It's going to be a little bit determinant on him. Other questions? All right, drill her out. 1, 2, 3.